Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Jessica Weiss, and this is video number 3 of a series of videos on mushrooms. And on today's video, we're gonna go deeper on our favorite magic mushroom. So please subscribe to keep attuned to these videos, and please leave your questions and comments in the comments. So magic mushrooms, they are a species of mushrooms that contain a compound called psilocybin. Psilocybin is this compound that kind of mimics serotonin and is what gives the magic in this sort of mushrooms. There are about 200 species of mushrooms that contain magic in them. From these 200 species, the most common is psilocybin. So psilocybin is going to be the ones that people out there are eating. Within the psilocybin species, there's other 100 plus or so, probably more, but the most popular, 100 plus strains. Now we're getting real technical. So what are the strains? Some people, they're more familiar with magic mushrooms. They know we're talking golden teacher, B+, albino, penis envy. Yes, my favorite. No. So from the species, there's different strains, but don't worry, because it's not like weed or other things that the strains really matter. I wouldn't overthink it on the strains if you're into mushrooms. So you really should focus on the dosage of mushrooms that you're eating. Don't get too focused on the different strains. But mushrooms, right, we dry them, we store them for up to a year. And from those dry mushrooms, only 1% of those have psilocybin. So when you're reading research or those clinical trials, they're talking about 20, 30 milligrams. Know that that is just psilocybin, right? Which in the dry mushroom has much more mass. Psilocybin itself, it's 1% of the dry mushroom, just one on that here. So going a little bit deeper, species, strains, how can we understand different magic mushrooms, species, and strains? Just want to make it clear, don't get too focused on it. If you're eating, just focus on the dosage that you're eating. But if you do want to understand, it's a little bit like this. So for example, a dog. A dog is from the species Canis familiaris. So that's the species of dog. In between that species of dog, you have the different breeds like pit bull, poodle, Labrador. So in that same sense, the species of mushrooms is Psilocybe, and the strains, they can be golden teacher, penis envy, albino. Same idea with an apple. The species of an apple tree, right? We uncovered that on an earlier video. The kingdom is plantae, the plant kingdom. Then you have species, an apple tree is a plant that gives apples. It's called Malus domestica. And then from that apple tree, you have genetic variation of apples. You can have a Fuji apple, for example, right? So the Fuji apple is the genetic variation. The same way that the Labrador is a genetic variation, the same way a mushroom strain called golden teacher is going to be a genetic variation of that species. But you don't really need to worry about that. Most strains of mushrooms, they're going to be more or less in the same effect. You just need to focus on the dosage. So if mushrooms are so amazing, can I buy them at a store? Magic mushrooms, are they legal? What's going on with that? So Brazil, Jamaica, Bahamas, they're fully legal. In the Netherlands, magic truffles are legal. And in the United States, currently as I'm making this video, the states of Colorado and Oregon are allowing them for therapeutic use in a clinical setting, and they're already training the therapists to be able to apply that. And then there's a whole lot of cities like Washington, D.C., and Oakland in the United States that they are decriminalizing. So there's a new wave of decriminalization. What does decriminalization mean? It means that the law enforcement has other priorities, that it's not getting you a fine for mushrooms, but they're not legal. My personal opinion is kind of like weed. It starts like this and then it goes bigger and bigger. There is a ton of research, and I mean a ton of research that proves how great mushrooms are for depression, anxiety, post-traumatic disorder. In my personal opinion, again, it's kind of like a shame that they legalize ketamine and you can go to like a ketamine clinic for treatment, but psilocybin therapy is not yet legal, but it will be. Magic mushrooms are amazing. I love them. They transform my life. A lot of people are eating them. They're just not talking about eating them, obviously, because it's illegal, as I said, on a federal level. Why is it illegal on a federal level? Well, the Maztec Indians, they were eating them in ceremonies for, for centuries, and then a lot of people were doing that. But, going back, there's many things, but the Catholic Church was like, because they were using mushrooms to connect with God, with the spirit in the Catholic Church, and that connection with God only through me. And there's also some other fun theories, like, for example, that, Homo sapiens, they could only evolve because they ate some mushrooms that were in the wild, and then their brains started connected, and some cool facts about mushrooms. But basically, President Nixon in 1970, well, let's put it this way. If you eat a lot of mushrooms, guess what you don't want to do? Go to war and fight and kill people. So psychedelics were legal, people were eating them, and they were eating probably too much of it. And then Nixon,
he wanted war, he didn't want peace.
He made them a Schedule I illegal substance, which means it has no medical use for nothing. It's right up there with crack and meth and whatever other disgusting substances, which makes me very, very upset. So talking about people eating too much of it and eating it in the wrong way, like you see those hippies at a party, just like completely LSD out the brain. They're just like, let's talk about that. So a lot of people, when I try to tell them about mushrooms, they're like, well, I ate them someday and I didn't like it, or my friend gave it to me. So they're like, I ate it and I didn't have a good time. I ask the same question, and always the answer is like, where did you eat them? And they go at a party. And I'm like, okay, who gave them to you? Well, a friend. So you don't know. Well, you ate them at a public space. You don't really know who gave it to you. You don't know the dosage. Like, I'm sorry, but it's just really careless. And that is because magic mushrooms, they specifically need to be taken with a set and setting in mind. And I'm gonna go deeper in the setting in the next video. What I wanna say is, don't hate on mushrooms just because you weren't so intelligent and you ate some mushrooms at a party and then it didn't go so well, right? Give mushrooms a chance. Keep watching my videos. I have more mushroom fun information. If you have any questions, comment, and please subscribe to my video and stay tuned. Thank you so much.